Yeah, it's quite amazing. I think we need to maybe possibly create a new languaging around all of this so that it can finally be understood, the complexities of this, and you're one of the people who's actually is trying to find a way to relanguage all of this, and it's almost like a revival of a new kind of spirituality or religion that seems to be. There seems to be a moment in history when everyone is reaching the same conclusion at the same time, and we're nearing that moment. That's what I think is going on. And go ahead.
I agree with you, Jay. And the marvelous spiritual and social anthropologist Jean Houston puts it this way. She calls it jump time. Jump Time, the title of a book that she wrote of the same name, and Jump
Great
Time is a moment in history that comes along every so often when, according to Jean, we pattern ourselves in such a way that we have to move forward. And I can talk more about that after the break.
Yeah, we'll come right back. We're talking to the best-selling author, Neale Donald Walsch, Conversations with God, Bringers of the Light, Happier Than God, the book. When Everything Changes is a book I want to talk to you about, Neale, because I'm interested in the change that we're going through right now. I'm Jay Weidner, Neale Donald Walsch, Smoke and Mirrors Radio Hour. We'll be right back. Thanks for listening. I want to thank you all for listening to the Smoke and Mirrors Radio Hour. We're on every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 on the West Coast. If you want to know more about Neale and his work, go to his website at Neale Donald Walsch, and it has an odd spelling. That's NealeDonaldWalsch, which is good for Google anyway. So in this universe is really an infinite set of infinities, I think, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. What do you think about where is human consciousness, an individual human consciousness? Is it just here to have a good time, or is there something that we're supposed to be doing?
Well, Jay, I believe there is. I believe that we are at the level of consciousness on, if I could use the word, on a mission, or that we are here for and with a purpose. Mm-hmm. And I believe that life is divinity seeking to experience itself. I believe that divinity seeks to know itself experientially, and that it can only do this in what I would loosely call a realm of relativity, that is a place, an environment in which it exists in differentiated form and in sizes and other differentiations relative to each other. That is, in the realm of the absolute, where everything absolutely is what it absolutely is, and where it is always here and now, the only moment and the only place there is. In the realm of the absolute, which some people sometimes call nirvana, bliss, heaven, or whatever, paradise, whatever name you want to give it, things exist as they absolutely are, in their absolute form, which is wonderful. It's very blissful. There's nothing but, what we would call in human language, love and joy and peace and serenity, and just an enormous sense of self and of the glory of self and the selfhood, or the Godhead, if you will. However, in my knowing this and what I've been allowed to understand and encouraged to share, is that that which we call God yearns to know itself in its own experience, and therefore has differentiated itself into a million gazillion individual parts, which have manifested in some cases as human beings, and that the aspect of divinity that remains connected to the all, which we call the soul, that part of us, that's our lifeline to God, is the soul. I believe the soul is, in a sense, if I could use a picture phrase, almost tethered in a way, never disconnected from, almost tethered to the larger aspect of the all. The soul, I think, comes here into physicality with a purpose and with a mission. And I think that mission is to express an experience and then to recreate anew in the next grandest experience its knowing of itself as divine. To put this all in simple language, if I wanted to know myself as loving, as if I wanted to experience myself as that, I would need to do more than simply know it. It's one thing for me to know that I'm loving. It's one thing for me to know that I'm nice or that I'm caring or that I'm compassionate. And I do think I know that about myself. I would like to think that I am those things, at least most of the time. And yet, if I don't experience it, if I have no way to express that part of me, then I can only know myself conceptually, but not experientially. But in order for me to know myself experientially, I would have to be in an environment, I'd have to find myself in a place where other than that exists. Because if I am in a place where nothing but that exists, then that in itself cannot exist. So I need a contrasting contextual field within which I can express and experience who I really am. That's a long-winded answer to a very short question that you asked, Jay, but I believe that it is close to what's going on here, that we are individuated aspects of divinity come to the physical realm that we might announce and declare, express and fulfill, become and fully experience various aspects of who we really are. I'm not sure that we do that even in one lifetime. I believe firmly and come to know about the thing called reincarnation. And I think that souls reincarnate an endless number of times, not 2 or 3 times, 5 or 6 times, but really an endless number of times moving through the loop of life, if you will, so that each movement through this life experience in physical form can bring us one step closer to ultimate and total self-realization. Paramahansa Yogananda, the wonderful Indian mystic who lived in the United States in Los Angeles for many, many years in the 30s and 40s, taught this. These kinds of truths came from him, and he created the Self-Realization Fellowship, which was a worldwide movement based on some of these thoughts that I've been sharing with you now.
Oh yeah, when I was a screenplay writer in Hollywood, I used to go down Sunset Boulevard and go to the Self-Realization Fellowship there, and that was where I got my early freshman training in all this. And he was a great teacher and fantastic. Just his point of view was so amazing that it just blew my mind when I first encountered it years ago. Many years ago now. So, that's very interesting. So, this matrix of reality is really God trying to discover what makes, I don't want to say him, but makes the grander being, right? And consciousness is exploring every single aspect of everything, and that's why there's such a myriad of shapes and forms.
I think I would.
Well, we got a break here. We're gonna come back though in just a couple of minutes. We got Neale Donald Walsch, best-selling author of Conversations with God, and I want to get to your new book, When Everything Changes, Change Everything, which is really something at the heart of what I believe is going on here. And we got to keep where we were because I want to remember and get your answer here. So, I'm Jay Weidner. You're listening to Neale Donald Walsch. This is Smoke and Mirrors, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Thanks for listening.